everybody. Welcome to Unlocking the Magic. You're listening to episode 263. We are back in New England. Sigh, no more humidity.
Yeah, I know. No more humidity. Although we did get one really cold spell down there, and it felt like we were back home. But
we did bring the weather there one day.
That is true. But we're back. It was a great trip. I had a lot of fun. We did a lot. If you're following us on Instagram, Unlocking the Magic Podcast, we probably overshared too much.
You think? A little bit?
I don't actually. You know what? I don't think we overshared too much. I think we shared just the right amount. We got a lot of messages, a lot of people commenting. We'll get back to you soon.
So this episode is going to be all about our experience this trip, and there's so much to talk about that this is going to be part one of a dozen. There's a lot.
Definitely 2 episodes for our recent trip report. We'll probably
at least 2.
Let's try to do 2.
Okay.
Not more than that.
You get bored after that?
It's not that we'll get bored after that, but 3 weeks from now, no one's going to care what we did this week.
That is also true.
So we'll talk about our experience in the park. Welcome to the podcast, by the way. That's Connie. I'm Bruce. Go follow us on YouTube. We will announce last week's or 2 weeks ago winner by now. I picked a winner. We'll announce who that is. But this week we'll talk about our trip to Animal Kingdom in Hollywood Studios. No, Animal Kingdom. Yeah.
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Animal Kingdom Lodge.
That's all we'll be able to fit, I think.
Oh, well, in that case.
Yeah. We did a lot. We did a lot this trip. We squeezed in a lot. It did fly by, though. Like, it always seems to fly by.
It does fly by.
You know?
And then we went to Hollywood Studios. We went to Magic Kingdom. Yep. We went to Epcot. Arts Festival.
Festival of the Arts.
Festival of the Arts, like she said. We tapped some magic bands with some folks.
We did a lot of that.
We have to explain what tapping magic bands is later in the episode.
You think?
Yeah, because a lot of people who are new to the show probably don't understand what that is.
Gotcha. It sounds a little weird.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this episode. I'm excited to be back home, even though it was fun.
We did a lot. I mean, the crowd levels were a bit higher than I think we both anticipated, but we still managed to do quite a bit.
I mean, they were way higher than I anticipated.
Way higher? Yeah, I guess you're right.
I was expecting it to be busy, but this week...
Well, it was President's Week.
It was, but we didn't go. We went after President's Day, so we went kind of midweek, and we stayed past the whole school vacation week, a couple days.
It was also the Princess Marathon.
But it was
mention that.
I know, but it was just. I've seen it busy in the park, and this was the busiest that I've ever seen it.
I would say the crowds were like Thanksgiving crowds. Like, that's sort of what...
25-minute waits for fast passes.
Yeah, that was weird. Well, that was only in Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom seemed to be a little bit... And we'll talk about that in the next episode in detail, because, like I said, I only think we're going to be able to talk about a few places today. But I think that was one of the things that I experienced was I felt like the Magic Kingdom seemed a little unorganized this time. And it was like, it was busy, but it almost felt like the cast members didn't anticipate it being so busy, or there was just something off that day.
I don't know if it was the cast members. Here's what it was.
Okay, you tell me.
They sent out way too many fast passes.
Maybe that's it.
And said come back all at the same time.
Yeah, there was it felt like a glitch or something. Whatever. But
yeah, we'll talk. Let's get into that. Let's get into what the show is today. It's a review of the Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is where we stayed.
A light review. We're going to do a full unlocking review coming up.
Wait a second. So we're not talking about Hollywood Studios, Epcot, or Hollywood Studios. We're not giving a review. What are we talking about today?
You're so right. What I mean is, like, for this show, I want to talk about our experience at the Animal Kingdom Lodge, but not go into the history of the lodge and the
Gotcha.
That's going to be more of like the unlocking episode we do.
Got you.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. Well, let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
All right. So first of all, the vibe reminded me of the Polynesian.
It did.
I got to say, our teenager described it the best. She said, "Mom, it's just so chill." And I was like, you know what? I think this might be let me just say, Polynesian's always going to be my first favorite just because. But I think this might be my second favorite. Like, it really had that relaxing vibe that I crave when I go on vacation. Like, I love how it sort of had this dim lighting at night, and the animals seemed to kind of relax us all, and just really liked it. What do you think?
I had the same feeling. It doesn't feel, even though, the Animal Kingdom Lodge, there's 2 areas. There's the Jamba House, and then there's Kidani Village.
It was fun to say.
It was fun to say. And they have a large footprint, but it doesn't feel like a large footprint when you're in the lodge.
It only feels large if you want to travel from Kidani all the way over.
We did have a car, though, which helped.
We got in the car to go to quick service.
We did.
Even though they told us, it's a 10-minute walk. You'll be fine. We were like, meh.
Listen, we're Animal Kingdom rookies. It was dark. You're in Animal Kingdom. There's no like, you see buses coming in and out of the bus station, and you're like, I don't know, do I want to walk 10 minutes, or could I just get in my car and drive over there in 30 seconds?
It is, once it gets dark, you do lose your bearings a little bit. Like, it definitely makes you really feel like you've traveled to. I've never been to Africa, but I feel like that is the closest thing to it. You know, from what I've seen online anyway.
I mean, you don't need a lot of shots to go to the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Well, I want to talk about the first thing that we did with this time around is we finally utilized the app to check into our resort, which I thought we've been able to do it before, but we just never did. I don't know if I just forgot or if I always feel like nostalgic and I have to visit the front desk for whatever reason, because the front desk agents the cast members there are always amazing and pleasant. But this time I thought, you know what? We're going to be landing kind of in the evening time where everybody's going to be hungry. Let's utilize the app and check in. It was so easy.
It was pretty easy. And it was easy, and it, sometimes when you get to the hotel, you don't want to go through that whole process of waiting in line.
Yeah.
Talking to somebody, especially if you're me, and you just want to go to your room. And that made it super easy just to get to your park your car, go to your room, check in, check out the room. And I took actually a video of the room. So if you want to go, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to slice it into this.
How do you slice it in?
Like if you're watching on YouTube.
I got it.
But I'll give you like a little brief overview of the room if you want. Or maybe we'll put it on Facebook or Instagram.
Well, it was the DVC resort room.
Kidani Village.
Okay, so let's just make sure we're clarifying that when we post the video, because not all rooms are going to look like that with kitchens. They should. That hot tub, oh my goodness. In the room. Our kids, literally, that's all they wanted to do was sit in that hot tub all the time. In the room.
Yeah, I know.
Well, what did you think about the room itself? Then you just described it for DVC members that may be renting points from others, or they're actually DVC owners. Like, what did you feel overall of the space?
I thought it was just enough space for us. So we're a family of 5, and it gives you a kitchen, a fridge, an oven. It's almost like it's a mini apartment.
It is. It had 2 full bathrooms, which I was shocked. We didn't even know. We walked in to the master bedroom and we walked around, and you could see the shower, which I love how the jacuzzi tub was separate from the shower. I love that. And it was huge. I mean, that itself was like a bedroom. It was so big. So that's what I thought all there was for a bathroom. And then all of a sudden, I guess I missed it, but right when you walk in the front door to your left, there was another full bathroom with a shower and bathtub. It was perfect. I mean, it was bigger than what we have at home. Our kids were pretty excited.
And our kids spent more time in the hot tub than they did the pool.
Yeah, I said that earlier. I was like, once they saw that jacuzzi tub, that was it. They pressed those jacuzzi buttons, they put on their bathing suits, and they literally were having their best life in that tub.
So it was amazing. It was a great resort.
Very comfy.
And we didn't get the greatest. First of all, we got a view of the lobby entrance. Like, we were literally one of the first rooms. Hello. Yeah. But let me tell you this.
Tell me this.
So our resort, when you pull up to the Jumbo House, or no, the Kidani Village, I'm sorry, the lobby area, there's a roundabout where people usually drop off and they go in and out of the lobby. Our room was probably 3 or 4 rooms over to the right of the door.
Yeah.
And I initially thought, this has got to be one of the worst rooms ever.
Right. Initially.
Right. Because I was like, this is going to be so loud. There's going to be no privacy. There's a little porch area with 3 chairs and a couple tables that you could sit at. And I was like, all I wanted to do was sit in the porch area at the Animal Kingdom Lodge and enjoy my coffee. And now I can't do it. But they have the shrubbery. But so great there.
It's strategic.
Yeah, like you could literally spy on everybody walking in and out of the lobby, and they don't even know you're there.
That was probably the highlight of the room.
So I sat on the balcony drinking my coffee, and
so don't be quick to judge.
Yeah, like even though it looks can be deceiving, even though it looks like it's going to be a ton of people out there and not private at all, it did feel a little private, I have to say.
They did an incredible job hiding that, making it feel like you were in a separate area, where when reality is you're right in front of the Ubers.
I saw the Tragical Express leave at least 7 times.
Oh, that is the worst. Yeah. I mean, obviously the Animal
Tragical Express because people were leaving.
We get it.
Got it.
I think. A lot of people chimed in on our Facebook page and Instagram and mentioned, like, Animal Kingdom Lodge is a great resort, but it also is depending on the view you get, because I'm sure the majority of the people want that Savannah view. However, that's a great point that you made. Like, looks can be deceiving. And once we were there, trust me when I tell you, drinking coffee on that, it's not a veranda, porch.
Yeah, it was a little porch.
Okay,
it's a small
balcony, not so much, but
first floor, so not balcony.
It's area.
Yeah.
Outdoor seating area. It definitely changed our mood and opinion.
2 things.
Yes.
Number 1, it made us really close to the lobby, which was helpful. Number 2, there's a viewing area for the Savannah right outside the lobby.
So talk about that, because I think that was probably one of your highlights of the lodge.
Definitely one of my highlights.
Yeah.
6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning as the sun's coming up. You can go grab a coffee in the lobby or even get a coffee in your room. There was a coffee maker there. Go sit on the balcony on the rocking chairs. And I don't know why, but there was never anybody out there when I was out there.
Never.
I would spend 20 minutes at a time in the morning, maybe in the afternoon, sometimes even at night before the sun went down. Mm-hmm. And I don't think there was I ever saw more than one person out there.
Yeah.
So even though our room didn't have a great view.
Now there's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah. There's going to be something up on the next podcast that I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to tell you where it is because I don't want to ruin it.
Maybe just in Patreon?
Yeah, just in Patreon.
If you pay us, we'll tell you.
But I sat out there multiple times.
Yeah.
And drank my coffee. Maybe in the afternoon, had my afternoon coffee, just sitting in the rocking chair, watching the animals go by. And it was so peaceful. And that was really close to our room because we were so close to the lobby.
Right.
So our in-room porch wasn't fantastic, but it was very close to this.
And the lobby, which was
much
awesome.
closer than other people's rooms.
Yes.
And it was a great view, very quiet, great spot to drink your morning coffee and just kind of observe. I
think the first thing I remember is just being in awe when we arrived at the resort. Again, we just went right to our room, which I really recommend that because it is it's not a long flight from Boston, let's just be honest, but the travel time is exhausting. You got to get to the airport 2 hours early. Everybody's hungry. Like, there's a whole lot that goes into your day, even if it's just a 3-hour flight. So when we got to go right to our room, I was really excited. And I remember when we got off the elevator and started walking towards our room, I looked to my left and there is the big window that showed the savannah. And we saw 2 giraffes just roaming about. And I was like, oh, I just instantly, all the stress of, the whining at the airport, my kids wanting to eat, in the food court.
Sorry about that, by the way.
Yeah, it was mostly Bruce. The whole process of traveling and being cranky, it just melted away. And I think that's the takeaway of this resort is that I definitely had that same relaxed feeling like I get at the Polynesian. So the Polynesian is the same in the sense of has that calming, other than the lobby. Like the lobby's a little hustle bustle at the Polynesian, but it still has that same tranquil vibe that I love. And this place definitely was incredible.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the pool.
Let's talk about the pool. Yeah.
So there's 2 different pools. There's one for the main building, and then there's one for the DVC Kidani Village building.
Yeah.
The one of the DVC building is a tad smaller, but it's also got less people.
Yeah, I think. Did the kids prefer that area? I feel like they did. I think they did. I don't
know if they preferred it, but it was definitely higher. It definitely met their expectations.
There you go.
I don't think it exceeded their expectations.
Well, there was,
and I don't think they were disappointed.
Right, because there was still a slide.
Right,
there was still a hot tub.
The one thing that I did notice about this slide is our kids didn't want to go down as many times. I think it was a lot slower to get the process going from someone being able to start the slide to the next person to go. Mm-hmm. And the days that we just happened to be there weren't exactly the hottest days on record. So I think they got a little cold and they're like, you know what? We're just not going to go.
We didn't want to wait.
They didn't want to sit up there for 15 minutes to wait for the slide. I don't think the slide was good enough to wait for 15 minutes.
Got it.
Unlike Peter Pan.
Are our kids really from New England? They can't be cold, like 70 degrees is cold to them or whatever.
I mean, I think we just happen to live in New England. I don't think we're supposed to live here.
I think you're right about that. I would say the only negative, if I had to be nitpicky, would be that, and like the slide was a little slower than I'm used to, but also the chairs at the pool area were a little bit too close together. Like it was a little, and I don't get claustrophobic.
For team talks?
For team talks.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Like I want to make sure everyone knows how much I love socializing. But when I'm in a bathing suit and I'm trying to eat, my Rice Krispie treat that I just got from a cast member, and
that is true.
I'm feeling a little chubby in my suit. I don't necessarily want to be so close to somebody else.
You just
that I don't
literally represented me every moment of every day.
Every single day?
Pretty much.
That was the only thing. You got to get there early to get a seat in the sun, but it's also really tight. Like they had the cornhole toss, which our kids love to do, and I remember like they wanted to go over there. I know you did separately, but I went alone, and I was kind of doing it in front of strangers, and it was kind of fun. They were cheering me on. But it was like a little nerve-wracking because I was like, any second now, I'm going to hit somebody by accident with this thing, and it's going to be all downhill from here.
So me and our youngest daughter were watching you.
Oh, you were?
Yes. And we were literally going to like, let's go play cornhole with mom. And we got halfway, and we realized that there was like 14 people watching you guys play, and we immediately turned around and went back.
I got to see
We both looked at each other. We were walking over like, let's go play. It's going to be fun. Me and you versus them two. And like we got halfway there, and we just both stopped, looked at each other, and like, nope.
Oh my God.
I'm out.
You're out.
Went back.
I would have loved to seen that on video.
There was a time, I think it was our first night that we got there. We were at the pool pretty late. It was probably like 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and there was nobody in that specific area.
Yeah.
And we were playing cornhole with nobody around.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is a fun game.
Now, I'm not playing with cornhole with 14 people watching.
No, because their chairs are.
I don't even care.
Their chairs are set up, so the chairs, the lounge chairs, are set up facing the cornhole, and they're right next to like only a few feet.
Yeah, super awkward. Not doing it.
Yeah, I think I only lasted one round because I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna push my luck here. You know.
Yeah.
I was close enough.
They did have a hot tub there too.
The hot tub, I gotta say, when it was free, because it's not a very big. I still think the best hot tub on property is at the Coronado.
Yeah, the ginormous one.
Yeah, I think every resort needs to take note and bring that to every resort.
Very spacious.
Yeah. So this hot tub isn't very big, but when I did get to enjoy it, I gotta say, a cast member came over to me at one point and they asked me if I would like a cooling towel. Like they had chilled hand towels, and I felt like I was a queen.
Yeah.
I felt like I was like, yes, I would love a cooling towel, and I put it around my neck, and I'm like, oh, this is what princesses feel like.
I don't know, but we went in the hot tub one time. We were playing cornhole. I think it was right after we were playing cornhole. And we saw the hot tub free. It was right behind us. And I'm like,
another time.
I'm like, hey, let's go in the hot tub.
This is you and the youngest again.
No, middle one.
Oh, okay.
We were playing cornhole.
Okay.
We went over to the hot tub. We saw nobody in there. I'm like, let's go. First time I've ever seen nobody in that hot tub. Let's go sit in there for a minute.
It was
we
quite
go
busy.
Sit in the hot tub. As soon as we were in there, 5 seconds later, 14 little kids in diapers come running over to the hot tub and go in there. And I'm like, look over. I'm like, I'm out. Listen, I'll do a lot of things. And the little kids are cool. They're awesome. But being in a warm hot tub with 5 little kids in diapers is just not my idea of fun.
That's one hot and steamy you won't take.
No, that's definitely not the hot and steamy I'm talking about.
There was a lot. I mean, I don't know. Usually with hot tubs, there's a sign that says like, you know, age requirements, but it seemed like that was out the window.
Yeah, they weren't listening.
They weren't. It was just like, you know what? There was babies in there.
Yeah.
They were like
I
just
immediately
floating.
got flashbacks of the cruise, and I'm like, I am completely out of here.
You don't need that hot and steamy surrounding you in your bathing suit.
That is not it. That's my next t-shirt. It's going to be a hot tub on a cruise with full, and it's going to say, I'm out.
One thing we didn't do, which was challenging because I think this was part of our previous episode of a Would You Rather, we actually decided not to eat at any sit-down restaurants while we were at the resort. And I think it was a tough decision because it was between Boma and Sanaa. We really wanted to eat at one of them. And then when we got there, we realized, you know what? Let's do something we haven't done. Let's try the quick service and just utilize the quick service by tasting different things that they offer there, since we've already been to Boma and Sanaa.
And we actually did a video tour in our Patreon group of the quick service there. We did a live show actually from the quick service tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so if you want to join Patreon, you can go Unlocking the Magic. Patreon's our private group. We do extra podcast episodes. We do some live shows in there. And we gave you a tour of the quick service, and we did a live show outside of the Animal Kingdom Lodge when we were there.
What's it called again?
Patreon?
No, the quick service, the Mara.
Yeah.
I think it was that. Cool place. I definitely suggest utilizing the mobile ordering, which we finally remembered to do this trip. I think because it is a really busy quick service restaurant, so there's always going to be some kind of a line. But it just so happened there was only one person taking orders that day, and it would just seemed a little too chaotic. So utilizing the mobile ordering, we did it a few times. A few times we didn't, because a thing I noticed only here. I didn't really take the time to research other places, but one thing I noticed was that not everything is listed on the menu on the mobile ordering. So one of my favorite things that I tried this trip there was and it sounds so dorky, but it's so good, is cauliflower, don't knock it till you try it, coconut curry soup. It was so delicious and super filling. And it was small at first, like it's a small cup of soup, but it's super creamy and thick. I'm sure it's even though it's just cauliflower, I'm sure it's terrible for you because it was so good.
Yeah.
Lots of butter, I'm sure. But it was something that was not on the mobile option, so that was kind of a bummer. So I had to wait in line for that.
So me, as the person who I am outside of this Disney podcast, I immediately saw the situation they were in, and I was like, I need to go help them organize.
You did.
I was like, they should be doing. I can see 5 things right now that this restaurant is not doing that I could help them with right now.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm at Disney.
What? Who can you talk to? Because I think it will make everyone's experience better in our own.
Yeah, it definitely. It was like I could literally see the 5 things. If they just do these 5 things right now, everybody in line is going to have a better experience.
Yeah.
That being said,
well, yeah,
just use the mobile ordering.
Yeah, just order that, right? Which took us a little bit to get used to because I remember it was time to go pick up the mobile ordering. I guess I didn't see how simple it is. Like
I didn't see like what you do. Like you're like we've never done that at that particular location before, so you don't know the process.
Well, it's just funny because mobile ordering is fantastic. So you put it in, you plug it into your phone. Then you decide when you're coming. So you just hit I'm here, start cooking. And then when it's ready, you just literally show up and grab it. There's no, I mean, at least for our experiences at the Animal Kingdom Lodge and other places at the parks, we didn't have to show our receipt or anything. You just kind of see your name and you grab it and go. But it took us a while to figure out where that is because I feel like at the lodge, it was a little bit tucked in the corner, which made it
There was like a little shelf and a sign that says mobile order, but it wasn't like focused where the menu is or where you would order or where they're cooking the food. It's a little bit off to the side.
It was kind of like a random spot, I feel. Yeah.
So we like again in that video we tour of the Mara, we showed you that on Patreon, so go check that out.
All right, let's head over now to our day in Animal Kingdom because there's a lot to talk about there as well. So
let's do it.
We stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge and then we did Animal Kingdom, which we haven't done. Feels like forever, but I guess it's been about a year or so since we've gone. We finally got to experience Navi River Journey.
Right.
What do you think about that, Bruce?
I thought it was good.
Oh, good, not great.
I think, listen, it's very visual. It's a fun visual ride. It reminds me of a less fun Pirates of the Caribbean, but Pandora version.
Because they're singing or...
Yeah.
There's no pirates, I guess.
Listen, there's no pirates. And
anything is less fun if there's no pirates.
No one's shivering my timbers. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the podcast, but...
Okay. So Disney describes it as a mystical river ride. Stunning and mysterious river. You'll glide through a series of caves and into a bioluminescent rainforest, alive with the sights, sounds of exotic plants and creatures on all sides, even overhead. Do you think that fits the description of what you experienced?
Come again?
You're not listening to me.
I do. I think it was a great description. I don't know if it's worth the wait. We're gonna have to add this to our worth the wait episodes because there is no way I would wait more than 7 minutes to go on this.
Okay. I think our kids liked it. They really thought it was visually beautiful. I think the whole thing about Pandora, I think everything is enhanced though at night. Like I kind of wish we experienced Navi River Journey for the first time at night because I think something happens in Pandora where when it illuminates and there's just visually, like you step in, it's like an extension of the land when you go to River Journey. Whereas we just did it during the day, which it was still beautiful once you got in there. But I think it just creates a whole nother level of mysterious vibe when you do it at night.
I'm kidding. It was great. It was a great attraction.
You're not kidding.
Everybody has to try it. What?
It wasn't necessarily thrilling to you, and it wasn't like a ride that I can picture you waiting. I would say 35 minutes would be the maximum I can picture you. 25. Never mind.
Let's
25.
Negotiate.
All right.
25 minutes, I'd wait for that.
Okay.
Flight of Passage, on the other hand, I feel like that is a ride worth waiting an hour in 5 minutes. If you're going to wait longer than an hour.
It's still as cool as I remembered. We
definitely.
I got onto this attraction, and in the back of my mind, every time I go on Flight of Passage, I always think of Soarin' because it has that similar sort of feel. in my head. And then I realized once I'm there, I'm like, wow, this is just Soarin' amplified by 1,000. Like, it really is just an incredible attraction. This time around when I was on it, I had so much fun, but I also just had the strong desire to bring my mom on, because I was like, if I'm this amazed, can you imagine?
She would freak out.
My 75-year-old mom would just think like we're basically living on Mars.
She's like, this is the Matrix.
Yeah, this is exactly. Like, she really would think that. It was windy. Was it windy for you? Like, at some point on this attraction, I was like, whoa, I had a hard time catching my breath, because you know when it's so windy, like it hurts your face a little bit? That's kind of what was happening.
Was it windy on it?
Yeah, it was windy.
Oh, all right.
Like, you're going, and like the wind.
Oh. I don't know if I experienced the same thing you did.
I don't know. That would freak me out a little. I think so.
It was good.
Anyway.
That's what I would worth. That's worth the wait for me.
I agree.
And the safari ride, my favorite. One of my favorite rides.
We talk about that a lot.
Yes. But I have to say, this time, there was more animals around than I ever remember seeing on a safari ride in my life.
I agree.
And we've been on this attraction many times.
And many times during similar weather conditions. So it wasn't necessarily like, oh, we went on it before and it was raining, so obviously the animals weren't out. Like, we've been on it in the same weather conditions, but this time it was just way more animals. I totally agree. The kids said it too.
Yeah, there's been times in the past where we've gone on, like, this is where the hippos are and you don't see any hippos, or this is where the hyenas are, or the dogs, and you don't see any of those.
There's dogs too?
I don't know what they're called. I'm not a
zoologist.
Yeah, I'm not the guy from the zookeeper.
Okay.
But there's been times where we would walk by these certain areas and we didn't see any animals.
Right.
And they're like, this is where this is supposed to be.
Yeah. And
this is the first time we went on, in almost every single spot where the driver said, this is where this animal is, we saw that animal.
We actually saw that animal.
And for the first time, I think we saw 10 elephants.
It was a busy day.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a busy day over on the safari. Like,
those parent elephants were yelling at their kids, get out of the house, because we saw them all.
They kicked them out.
Yes.
They're like, go do something. Go
all
outside.
The parents, all the animal parents were like, get out of my house today.
Go ride a bike. Go enjoy the outdoors. Definitely, I saw that as well. I think one thing about this particular time at Animal Kingdom that I was underestimating was our kids' love for Dinoland USA. Like, they really love it over there. And it's weird because I remember visiting Dinoland USA for the first few times ages ago, it feels like now, and I didn't like it. I didn't get it. I was like, this isn't Disney. It feels carnival. Like, I disliked it. Other than Dinosaur, obviously everyone knows that's one of my favorite attractions, but the Dinoland USA in whole, I just never understood. But now, the more and more I go, it just makes perfect sense. It's like really lighthearted, and one of our kids' favorite places. Like, they can't get enough of Dinoland.
It's a little bit more chill when you go to head towards the safari ride. That area, because they have the shows, they have the people doing the music right in the street, it gets super congested.
Yeah.
And if there's anything happening with the Lion King show and the people are coming out of there, just that area feels like super crowded.
Yeah.
And Primeval World was closed.
I know, that was the only
So maybe that's a reason, because that's a super popular attraction.
Are you being serious?
No.
Oh.
But it's fun. It's a good attraction. It's fun. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. And I'm glad it's not super popular.
All right.
But Dino Land, without that being open, only really had one or two things to do.
Right.
And it made it feel way more chill and way less crowded.
I feel like
than other areas.
Always feels way less crowded, only because it's way more open than the other areas of the park. Well, it's true though that like the other areas like Asia, Africa, like they do have it.
The two worst places,
theming.
The two worst areas to hang out in the park in Animal Kingdom are right around Everest.
Yeah.
Like walking from Everest to the Tree of Life.
Yeah.
And then Harambe Market.
Well, I was going to say
because those are the most, like, there's just so many people around. It's hard to navigate.
Isn't it that the Imagineers did to make you really feel like you're in that country? Though?
Great. Good job.
You wish they didn't.
Fantastic.
But
it's so immersive. You feel like you're in Africa, crowded by way too many people.
Yeah.
Great job.
Bruce loves that. But slow your roll, buddy. But I think that's one of the refreshing things of Dinoland is that it's really open. But it's like lighthearted. So it's like don't take life too seriously kind of thing. And it was fun getting to see our kids finally realize that as well. And
what is it? So you're saying like the area of Harambe Market makes you feel like you got to get to work? Like everybody's trying to get somewhere?
You got to get somewhere.
Oh my God, where's the food? Where is it? Where can I go? I got to get to work.
You
I'm
got
late.
things to do. Right, exactly. Whereas Dinoland, it's just fantasy. It's fun.
I don't know. There's always
Right?
those people who have like a family of 4 and they're always holding hands, all 4 walking down one area, blocking the whole way. I want to come back as those people.
We should do a rule, not double stroller rule, right? Side by side, but like single, like how to hold your hands front to back.
I'm gonna ease up on
Like
the double
this.
stroller one because no one's listening to me anyway. The 2 zipper thing, I'm doubling down
Oh,
on.
well, yeah, definitely.
I'm publicly shaming anybody who has more than 2 zippers on Instagram.
Myself included, because guess what? I had a purse with 3 zippers by accident. I didn't know that the front one was a zipper.
Open the zippers up, lady. Open them up.
Sorry.
Don't go in line with you're not actually going to Everest.
I know.
You know, you're not actually going to Mount Everest. You don't need to have 47 zippers on your backpack, and you're not actually going on a safari.
I needed my makeup.
You will be back in 20 minutes.
I did. I won't let that one down. But, yeah.
These people. I think I put a video on Instagram, and someone actually messaged me. Oh, like thousands of people messaged us. But I was like, I took a video. The guy in front of me. Our first day at Animal Kingdom, we happened to get there. I pick a line, which you always tell me not to pick a line because I always pick the worst one.
You always pick the worst one. Yeah.
I get in line, and the guy in front of me has a backpack that had the most zippers I've ever seen a backpack. It was almost like it was made of a zipper factory. And he had every single one closed.
Bummer.
So many zippers
Yeah.
that the security guard said, wow, that's a lot of zippers.
What about this? A shirt that says open your backpack zippers on the back of it so people in line can see that shirt.
Well, here's the thing.
Okay.
I don't care about the people behind me.
Oh, yeah.
I care about the people in front of me.
Yeah.
I'm going in.
But I was just thinking like it would go trickle down. Whatever. Okay. That's fine.
I gotta get on the front of my shirt. Hey, you.
All right.
I'll tap to the guy's shoulder and point at him.
Last thing about Animal Kingdom, there's so much to talk about. We got to see the Festival of Lion King, which it's located in Africa, and I've always kind of seemed to skip it because Lion King is my dad's favorite movie, so I always get kind of emotional. But I'm glad we did this time because the kids really enjoy it. It is truly like a Broadway style show, and the best part, which our youngest absolutely loves, the tumbling monkeys.
Yes.
She gets a kick out. Like that's what she wants her career to be. She's like, I want to be a monkey. I want to be a tumbling monkey.
I have to say, too, like a little tip here. If it's really busy at the parks, don't be afraid to get in line late.
Wait, you're sharing tips?
This is one tip that I enjoyed because there was a lot of people and this show was full, but we got in right as it was about to start. We were almost at the end and we still got good seats. Like where we sat, you could see everything. There was no one blocking us and we didn't have to wait in line for a half an hour.
Right.
Getting squished by all those people.
I think the shows are a little different. They can hold so many people. I think like this show actually can hold like, I thought I read somewhere 1,500.
15 million people.
15 bazillion.
It was thousands and thousands of people.
So it's definitely you can still make the show. I remember actually a few people behind us were asking cast members, will we get on? Will we? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, you're fine. If you're standing right here, you should be able to enjoy this show.
For reference, it was a full queue.
Full.
And we were literally standing at the entrance where the cast member was.
Yeah.
We were like the last people inside of that box. And they're like, as long as you're around me, you're probably going to make it on.
You're pretty good. And slip me a 20. No, I'm just kidding.
That's what he said. Well, if you want to go in this line over here where there's nobody.
I'm just kidding. Never, ever do that.
I like cash money.
Okay, favorite moments. Let's go on to favorite moments about this particular time, either at Animal Kingdom Lodge or at Animal Kingdom.
My favorite moment definitely was sitting on the balcony in the rocking chair with the kids in the morning, watching the animals with no one else around.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the highlights of the... I actually did a video on Instagram, too, so you should go check that out, of the savannah.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the highlights of staying at the Animal Kingdom Lodge is just being able to sit there and be fully immersed and see the animals and just relax.
Yeah, I agree. I would say my favorites were, well, one of them was my 12-year-old who actually stopped me, Miss slow down woman, and take your time to enjoy things. Actually, Bruce skipped out on this because he realized that 2 times on dinosaur is a little too much.
Yeah, it's a little too rough for me.
So I actually ended up going alone with our girls onto dinosaur, and my 12-year-old stopped me. You don't know this, Bruce. And she said, Mom, slow down. She wanted to enjoy the queue because she said, this is the best part. She loves the queue there. And I really loved that. I was really nice of like, I was like, wow, like they get it. Like they're not just racing in to get on, because dinosaurs is such a fun attraction. I ended up racing through the queue, and she was the one that reminded me to slow down, that was one of my favorites. The other ones were, we saw the ostrich again on the safari, and we have it on video that they chased our van again. Always a good time.
That is true.
Tapping magic bands. We got to meet a couple of people from the show here.
Let me just say one thing about tapping magic bands.
You said you were going to disclose and describe
Yeah,
what
so
that
tapping
means.
magic bands is something that we talked about. Like, we've been asked many times, hey, when are you going to do meetups? We want to meet you in the park. And I always just joke around about me being introverted and not wanting to do meetups or meet anybody. Mm-hmm. And I always say to people, let's just tap magic bands as we walk by each other. That'll be like the signal of the show. So that's what tapping magic bands is.
Thank you.
If you meet in the parks, we're going to tap magic bands.
Okay.
And we're going to say hello.
Okay.
That being said, I want to make it clear to people, like, if you see us in the park,
yeah,
don't be afraid to come up and say hello.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah.
Well, wait,
you love it.
Wait. This is different information I was getting from Bruce last year. I
don't want to make people see. Here's the thing.
Okay.
We have a lot of people message us after and say, "Oh, we saw you in the park," and I don't want to, like, who the heck are we? That's the reason I don't want to do meetups. Like, who wants to meet us? Like, who are we to be like, let's do a meetup? Like, no one's gonna go.
No one's gonna come.
But if you see us in the park and you want to come up and say hello,
yeah,
don't be afraid to say hello. We'll never be like, get away.
It was really highlight of our trip.
Yeah, it's awesome to say, like, people who like listen to the show, and
it was really
cool for us
to know that there's people back there too. It's not just us talking into this microphone.
Right.
Like,
so even though I joke around about being introverted, I am.
Well, he is.
And I will never do meetups.
He'll never do a formal meetup, I think. Maybe I can change him. We'll see. Time will only tell. And what else about you? Like, just and don't get too close, maybe?
I'm weird.
Yeah. Well, we know that.
No.
But like,
I know. We met so many people. Like, so many people came up
fun.
to us, and I took pictures with some people.
I was impressed.
Tapping magic bands. I'm very friendly. I hide it very well.
What about the time we were in the Magic Kingdom? And I know this is for another episode because we're not discussing Magic Kingdom today per se, but there was someone that wanted to flag us down, and I got to talk to her, but then, like, for some reason you were like not listening, and you were like so far away.
Oh yeah, I thought I lost
like,
you.
Hello, Bruce.
She thought I was being rude, but I really didn't even hear you. And I was looking around. It was so busy. I thought I lost you.
It was so funny.
And I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
He's like, were you calling my name? I'm like, yes. All right. So that and tapping magic bands, and the family finally made me.
Wait, what's your favorite memory?
I said so. Our 12-year-old, when she
right.
stopped me to enjoy the queue. I have a lot. The ostrich chasing our van was so fun, and how you guys made me face my fear and see the gorilla. But when we arrived, the gorillas were sleeping in a corner, so they were very inactive, and I was like, yes, thank you to the gods above.
Nice. All right, you know what? Let me announce the winner before we end the show and talk about whatever we have left to talk about.
Okay. Oh, I got lots, but okay.
So last week, word of the show was fast casual.
Okay.
You had to go on our Would You Rather episode and type in the word and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Fast Casual. So the winner is Ryan Levine.
Ooh.
Congratulations, Ryan. Email us, info@unlockingthemagicpodcast. No, info@unlockingthemagic.com. Sorry about that.
Can we get it right?
And then just let us know you won, and we'll send you out a shirt of your choice. Also, this week, here's the contest this week.
Okay.
I'm going to actually give you some Disney trivia.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Wait.
Not you.
Yes.
I'm going to give it to you, but don't answer it.
Got it.
So there's two pipes in Dinosaur. One's orange, one's yellow, and one's red. And there's formulas written on them. Here's what you got to do. Obviously, you have to go subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Obviously.
And you have to tell me and Connie what the formulas are for and why.
Okay.
Not just what they're for, but what they're for and why they're for that.
Oh, so they got to do a little history
search?
search?
Yeah, you got to do a little history search of Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom, since we're talking about that in this episode.
Okay.
That's your homework for this evening or whenever you're listening to this podcast. Go over to our YouTube channel. Make sure you're a subscriber.
Yep.
Hit the like button on this video, and then leave us what the formula is and why it's there.
I love it.
A little Disney trivia, mixing it up this week.
A little harder this time around, but it's good.
Because my keyword was going to be, hey, unzip, buddy.
that
would have been weird.
Please don't ever say that again.
Well, that was my shirt. Hey, unzip, buddy. It was going to be me in line. I know it sounds weird. It sounds weird when you make me say it.
All right. Things that we learned on this trip. Moving on very quickly here. I would say never underestimate how much your kids will love the resort. I know I talk about this a lot, but it's one thing talking about it, one thing doing it. I always fail to remember how much our kids love, capitals on the love, hanging out at the resort.
So what you're saying is, if your kids are in the room and they don't want to go anywhere, just leave them alone.
You know what's so funny is that I actually overheard another parent. I was kind of eavesdropping, I guess. But she was talking loud, in my defense. Like, she was talking loud to her son. And she said...
Listen, if you're talking loud enough for me to hear, it's not eavesdropping.
Okay, thank you. She said, why do you want to go back to the room and just sit in the room? What? There's so much to do. And I literally, like, a light bulb went on because I was literally having the exact same conversation with our kids. I was like, why do you want to stay in the jacuzzi tub when there's a jacuzzi outside with a pool? And, like, all they wanted to do was hang out. Our oldest wanted to, like, read and watch TV on the bed. And I was like, you can do that at home. But they really do truly love it. That's part of the vacation for them. So don't underestimate that factor, you guys. I gotta just keep repeating that. And then also remembering it for ourselves. Number 2, always be prepared for crazy weather, crazy cold,
42 degrees in Florida,
and rainy and windy. Like, it was.
Constantina, we're looking at you for this one.
I was a little miserable, I'm not gonna lie. That morning on our walk to Hollywood Studios, my face was hurting. I was wet. I forgot my poncho in the hotel. I was cold. I was freezing cold. I didn't pack enough things before leaving.
We'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah. But just so you know, it's so funny because upstairs, the kids on the whiteboard wrote the weather every day from the weather app right before we packed and left for the trip. And every day was accurate except that one day was much colder and rainier than listed. So don't trust those weather apps, people. 3, I only have flying with Spirit. Fine, but just watch out for the baggage fees. And I think that's why I didn't bring enough warm stuff because I didn't want to pay for the baggage fees. And lastly, switching hotels during the trip is a good way, I think, to check out other resorts and see where you like to stay. And by meaning not necessarily hotel hop, because we talk about that, just visiting hotels. I'm actually sleeping at other hotels. I don't necessarily love it because I've never felt like I was ever settled, which I didn't feel as relaxed, I would say. Like when we returned, I was a little more tired. So I would say pick a resort that you think you're going to love and just stick with it.
Got it. Let's wrap it up now.
That's all I got.
All right. Thank you so much to our sponsors, Joffrey's Coffee. We had so much Joffrey's Coffee.
So much.
Coming up on next week's episode, did we or did we not do the Skyliner? Did I or did I not sneak Joffrey's onto the People Mover?
Did Connie get in trouble because she tried to do the same?
Or did she not? Did we drink coffee on the Skyliner? What was it like at Hollywood Studios? Did we get on Rise of the Resistance?
So much
stuff coming up on next week's episode. We will share over on YouTube and on our podcast that you're listening to right now. If you could do us a couple favors.
Okay.
Check out Joffrey's Coffee, joffreys.com. Let them know you heard about them on the Smart Pizza Marketing Podcast. Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company on Instagram. Also, check out Kingdom Strollers, kingdomstrollers.com. Partners of the podcast that you're listening to right now. Thank you so much to those sponsors for being a part of this episode. If you want to have some extra episodes, maybe a little behind the scenes, a little extra episodes that we do over on Patreon. Also, we're going to be doing some live shows this month on Patreon. Unlockingthemagic.com is where you can find the link to Patreon and join us there. It's a pretty fun group. It's growing, and we have a lot of fun in that Facebook group over there.
Cool.
Don't forget the phrase or the trivia of the show. What are the formulas on the red pipe and the yellow pipe in the attraction Dinosaur, and what are they for? Why are you laughing?
Because you said formulas like with the Boston accent.
Formula? Formula. How
formulas.
Did I say? Formulas. What are the four?
People are like, what the heck are those?
What are the formulas?
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what that means. But go leave it on our YouTube channel for this episode when it comes out. And Ryan Levine, congratulations, my man.
Congrats. I love your name.
Yeah. Any shout outs we have to give to anybody we met?
I think we'll do it next time.
Okay.
So that we can make sure we don't exclude anybody.
Yeah, we'll give some shout outs to people we met and say hello to at the parks over the last week.
Perfect.
That's it.
That's all.
All right. See you guys. Info at Unlocking the Magic if you want to get a hold of us, and Unlocking the Magic podcast on Instagram.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.